I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nice to meet
That was
you.
this morning because they would restrict the airspace
I'm
if they feel
sorry.
like it's not safe. So it's getting bad. Let me go back to the other video, and then we'll watch what happened in Kentucky.
In the next piercings today, at Fame Tattoos, blessings welcome, all day.
Oh my gosh, I hope these commercials don't be too long. Good.
Texas Love Field is set
Shout out to you. Who's this? Lovely Tea?
food banks are bracing
Lovely
for
Tea
the
on
impact.
YouTube.
We'll have a lot of people in crisis. They will have
Shout out to
food to
you.
eat for themselves.
We
and for
real
their
rough
kids.
today. We
Chris,
real
it's
clean.
only a matter
We
of
showing
time.
up
Something will have to give.
as we
He
are.
hopes the safety of the flying public is not part of that.
I mean, how can you manage this from an emotional perspective without thinking to yourself, should I do something else?
In Arlington, I'm Brittany Costello. The FAA previously reported they were already down about 3,000 air traffic controllers nationwide, even before the shutdown. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association represents more than 20,000
Let's see how fast I can
controllers.
clean this.
It says many of its members were already working 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, and the shutdown is adding even more strain. Brianna Keeler spoke with the union's president.
The amount of stress, the fatigue, the frustration.
Now, didn't I just say that earlier? She said they're working 10 hours a day on a normal basis. But now with people not coming in, that's more hours, that's more stress. And now the president is saying, the fatigue. People are only human beings. You can only do this, and then think about it. After working this stressful job for hours, you got to turn around and go do DoorDash.
Is going every day. Air traffic controllers are waking up to a headline that says there's no end in sight, and that leads to a level of hopelessness as well. And there's not even as many air traffic controllers that are working today as there was in the 2019 shutdown, where air traffic controllers are working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, and that was already an issue that we were working on. And now every day that this continues, it continues to build, and it continues to put them in a place that is completely unacceptable.
We're all about to quit. Everybody just stop working.
A tower when they're not.
Just stop working.
You start having one person
See
take
what
on
they do.
multiple tasks where you would normally have that workload divided between controllers. They're going to go to work, they're going to do their
Long
job.
as YouTube don't stop.
But you have to start
We
slowing
good.
down the number of aircraft they can go through
We're
so one person can handle
What
this
in
level
the
of complexity.
hell? No.
This is the most high consequence job in the entire world. You're making 1,000 decisions, in just one rotation to ensure that aircraft move safely out in and around the airport or in the sky. And every single time that they have to take on an additional level of responsibility amidst all these other issues is something we have to be concerned about and something we have to manage.
What are the personal financial dilemmas that they're facing right now?
We're not only seeing air traffic controllers already reporting that I have no money for gas.
Nice
And to be able to get to work there
meet you.
over 1 month at this point without a level of compensation for the amazing work that these patriots do day in and day out. But also on top of that, not having child care. We're seeing air traffic controllers for the
My
first time
chamomile.
starting to resign.
Why I
We
bought
have
it
trainees
8
that
months
are
ago and
resigning,
ain't
and we have
opened it yet.
certified controllers.
Fresh
And
chamomile tea.
reports of them resigning over the course of this past week.
You've called for a clean funding bill. That's right?
Yes.
You called for a clean funding bill. That at this point is the demand of Republicans in the White House as well. You at the White House roundtable this past week on aviation travel and union leaders in the White House has said they have no intentions to meet with Democrats until the government is reopened. Have you been able to speak to Democratic House and Senate, especially leadership, about what your folks need?
We have, and our message has been consistent from the very beginning. One day of a shutdown was too much. Air traffic controllers cannot be used as a political pawn. and I can help everyone know the end of the story. People can't live without money. It's putting us in a position to, for an air traffic controller to have to not only deal with his profession, but then weigh going home and having to have the consequences of being at home and trying to explain to your family that you're going to go into one of the most demanding jobs in the world and you don't know when you're going to get paid again. Our message is simple. Open the government, and it has to open now. That's the real issue, and that's the only way that this is going to be solved.
You've been through this, time and again, and the threat of
Okay, so he's saying some real stuff, it's sad what's going on. This is bigger than just SNAP benefits, healthcare. I mean, again, everything is having a trickle-down effect, everything. And I know a few people are asking, I know people are asking, if you tip the TSA people. From what I've heard, because there are people who try to tip them, they'll get in trouble for accepting the tips. They're not supposed to take any tips from people. They can get in trouble because it could look like you're tipping them to allow you to bring a gun or something on the plane that shouldn't be on the plane. So even tipping is not an option at this point. So I think one of the things we can do, because I know a lot of these folks are going to like food banks and pantries, is to donate food, send money to the pantries, volunteer. A lot of pantries use volunteers to hand out groceries. I will be doing some volunteer work around my city once I start feeling better. I think I had talked to the lady on the phone because she said I can drive people food, because there's some who can't get to the pantries, like if they're sick or you're older. So they also have like a mobile pantry where you can collect food from the food shelf and then take it to people's houses. So I think that might work a little bit easier for me, just because I don't, I be getting recognized and stuff, so I don't want to debacle. I'd rather just be in my car and then go and bring people food. So I think I'm going to talk to that. But there's different options. So definitely check around your city. They need people to deliver like Meals on Wheels, food to people, in bags and stuff like that. They can't make it. Or you can box food. You can also box if you don't want to hand food out. So
Why is this food everywhere? Cream of chicken, spaghetti.
I work the garden.
I don't know why I bought this big ass bag of croutons.
That we did, a lot of that food was.
It's gonna get wasted.
Whatever we didn't sell.
Cause then I got the wrong one.
Was sent to pantries.
I thought it was just garlic. This is cheese and garlic.
The pantries and stuff on the Twin Cities. So, but now the gardening program is over because it's getting cold out here. So I'm going to be doing volunteer work then to like supply food. So definitely do that if you guys can, if you have the time. But I get it. Everybody doesn't have the time to have to work and things like that. But if you have the time, definitely do that. Let's go ahead and find out what happened with this. I didn't even know if you guys told me, so let me pull that video up. Let's find out what happened.
Y'all, I got news about this bulldog.
Breaking news in Louisville. A UPS cargo plane.
I got news. I'm gonna do a whole video on this though.
From Muhammad Ali International Airport.
It happened at about 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Louisville is a major hub for the Imani parcel service. Chris Van Cleve covers transportation for us and has the latest.
Y'all wrong for this, bro.
This was a 34-year-old MD-11 with 3 crew members, 2 pilots.
It's on every bag.
On board. It appears
Cancer warning.
Wrong as this plane was accelerating down the runway in Louisville. We're going to show you some video.
I'm mad at you, Bulldog.
Show at least 1, possibly 2 of the plane's 3 engines on fire as it was in the process of taking off. Whatever happened, happened quickly. The plane did not stay in the air very long. It would have been loaded down with a lot of fuel, enough fuel to take it from Kentucky all the way to Honolulu. That's why you're going to see substantial fire that is burning just off the runway there at the Louisville airport. That airport is going to be closed during the immediate response to this. We understand there's about a 5-mile shelter-in-place order there because of the widespread fire debris. It looks to be stretched a quarter of a mile, maybe a half a mile, all of it on fire. It came down in an industrial area semi-trucks are burning, a recycling center is in that area.
This is scary. I really hope it's not like people who are working in those buildings. This is insane. And then imagine people who are at the airport getting ready to fly out. Now all those people are going to be grounded and can't get, you know what I'm saying,
Trash.
wherever they're trying to go.
No more credit cards.
Wow.
Area, as well as people who work in warehouses, the factories there that need to be accounted for. We don't know at this point how many people on the ground may have been in those businesses. We do understand 3 people were on that UPS flight, a 34-year-old MD-11, a converted airliner that's been flying for UPS since 2006. That's one of the workhorses of the UPS fleet. It's a 3-engine wide-body jet that they have been using for years. Now, certainly what will happen now, the National Transportation Safety Board and the FAA will send investigators. Spoke with the NTSB. They are gathering information. They're figuring out their plan. They will be the lead agency here, trying to piece together what went so catastrophically wrong. It appears whatever happened during takeoff. You can see in video what appears to be the engine on the left-hand side on fire, possibly as well as one of the other engines on fire. Guys?
Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve, thank you.
What is the White House thing? Okay, so 3 days have 11 people injured so far, but it's expected to get larger.
Information we can confirm on their status. From the videos that I've seen, I'm very concerned. But again, I'm still praying because I've seen people make it out of things in these last 6 years that I didn't think were possible. We'll have more information soon, and we'll also want to make sure before we confirm anyone specific is deceased that we talk to their family. We deserve to hear that information first.
This is insane. Look how that fire has spread, and if these people were working in these warehouses, you know, they had no idea this plane was, you know, gonna dump gasoline and, oh wow.
Yeah, we'll get that information out, depending on how much news there is. We may be able to get it out on social media or release directly, but we'll work with our news partners.
Welcome back. We're still following the latest out of Louisville, Kentucky. The FAA confirming a short time ago that a UPS flight crashed after departure from the Muhammad Ali International Airport. The cargo plane was headed to Hawaii. Several law enforcement agencies are responding to the scene of the crash. You can see there a massive plume of smoke is visible near the airport. The Louisville Metro Police Department says that injuries have been reported and the scene remains active with fire and debris. Authorities say a shelter-in-place has been issued within 5 miles of the airport. They're urging the public to avoid the area. Governor Andy Beshear writing on social media just minutes ago that the situation is serious. First responders are on site. He says to pray for those affected. ABC News transportation reporter Sam Sweeney joins us now by the phone. Sam, what can you tell us about how this crash might have unfolded?
It's too early to tell, but we are seeing video pop up on social media showing flames underneath the plane as it was rolling down.
Ooh, I got a heat flash. That means I'm
data
working.
shows that this plane only got to about 175 feet in the air.
The fact that my robot hasn't made it over here yet. Damn, you slow.
A large freighter cargo plane. It was traveling.
Get over here already, bro.
To Honolulu, which that's roughly a 9-hour flight on a good day, which means this was loaded with jet fuel. So you can imagine, this explosion and the smoke is massive. The debris field is massive. And what's going to happen now is the NTSB and the FAA are going to launch investigators. They're going to try to collect all of that early evidence from the scene to try to figure out exactly what happened and, of course, recover those black boxes. Right now, we know that there were 3 people on board that plane. There was a captain, a first officer, and a relief pilot. We don't know about anybody else on the ground as far as injuries or death.
Lord, I need you now more than ever. Won't you put my heart back together? I search all over my ears. I find out your love's better.
And you know, it looks like from the video, the plane was catching.
Roy, where you at? Roy! My dog be hiding.
Maybe it wasn't checked fairly because there's not enough people to do the job. you know, with this shutdown.
Hey,
So we're gonna have to
girl.
wait, you know, to get more information on that. But, you know, rest in peace to the
Yeah.
people who lost
I
their
said
lives
I
as
need
well
you
as,
now more
you know,
than ever.
it's just, it's sad.
Again. I don't have any food, please. I'm tripping.
So thank you for that info, 'cause I had no idea that even happened.
I said
This is the Tempur-Pedic Breeze mattress, and it's designed to help you feel cool. So no more sweating all night, no taking off the covers, or blasting the air conditioning. Because only the Tempur-Pedic Breeze is made with our one-of-a-kind cooling technology. It pulls heat away from your body, so the mattress feels up to 10 degrees cooler all night long. Shop the Tempur-Breeze collection today at City Furniture. Enjoy over 1 million dreamers who found their best rest with us.
Feeling under the weather? Be prepared with oscillococcinum for flu-like symptoms. It's the first thing to take at the first sign of body ache, chills, fever, and fatigue, so you can feel like yourself again. Oscillococcinum by Boron.
Woo! It has been days when kids are eating and I'll just survive on water.
Very stressful, our anxiety, like wondering like when our next paycheck's gonna be or if we're gonna get the next one. There is no support from TSA's leadership in Philadelphia. We were told if you call in sick, you have to provide medical documentation. When I call out, I tell them the truth. And for childcare.
Unfortunately, majority of people on staff are working. It's just that our country doesn't pay them enough.
We're really now sort of anticipating maybe as many as 20,000 families reaching out to us at our 2 food pantries just for these holiday meals. You know, unless they really start the funding now, this could be all the food they get, or at least that they can count on this month.
We make all kinds of meals that stretch everything that we have. At a certain point, you can't stretch it anymore.
We're not pawns on a chessboard. We're people. They don't understand what a government shutdown is. My daughter made a comment the other day, well, Mom, you can just go to bed. What parent wants their child to see them struggling and upset and crying because you're worried about not only where the food's coming from, but we're right around the corner from the holidays. They want to send a list to Santa and have you sit there and hear them talking about that and know that this year you may not be able to pull that off. It's heartbreaking.
It's these simple moments. Mom Matthew Sabatino making breakfast for her 8-year-old daughter Kenzie and 9-year-old son Cal that lately has become more difficult. All because Sabatino works for the federal government.
We were told if you call in sick, you have to provide medical documentation. When I call out, I tell them the truth. And for childcare.
For the last 13 weeks, she's worked as a lead TSA agent at the Philadelphia International Airport. Sabatino is also the executive vice president of her local union chapter. But now she and roughly 1.5 million other federal workers are going without a paycheck, struggling to make ends meet. And it's not her first rodeo.
Completely different than the last one we went through, which was considered to be the longest in government history. This one, there is no support from the state leadership in Philadelphia.
Her last paycheck was on October 11th and fall from what she normally gets.
Full taxes come out of that. By the time it's done, you're receiving $104. That's not a paycheck. That's supposed to carry you over through a shutdown. This is a little bit that is in here. You have some raviolis. This is enough to
I
hold
wish I
over
could play some
maybe another
music. What is this?
fridge is pretty much empty. All of those bills are due at the beginning of the
Damn,
month,
they showing people that struggling
and
with
there is no pay coming in to pay them.
food stamps. All right, finally
For
you're
us
over
to
here.
give to our creditors. Most of them don't accept it, they want their money.
She's contemplating applying for SNAP benefits, once called food stamps. But as this government shutdown drags on, now the longest in U.S. history, SNAP is out of money.
This is the first time in history that SNAP benefits were not issued fully to individuals, not even during the first shutdown, during the first Trump administration in 2018 to 2019, were benefits issued half or delayed as they're being done at this moment.
When you went out and applied for
This is
emergency
crazy.
SNAP,
I'm literally sitting here thinking like, we're in America and people can't eat.
Sabatino and so many others may now have no choice but to rely on the help of food banks.
The fact that only for 1 month,
Like millions
it
of
seems like
others,
the world is
Sabatino
melting
after her
without
president
assistance.
took
That's
control
sad.
October 1st, when Democrats
That's
refused
sad.
to approve the temporary spending bill unless Republicans agreed to extend expiring Obamacare subsidies so premiums don't rise for millions.
How long do you think this will go, Mr. Speaker?
Sure. The motion is not agreed to. The motion upon reconsideration is not agreed to.
I want to apologize
Not agreed
for my
to.
kitchen.
Democrats are just
This is
saying,
what happens when you
it's time to
are
do a budget,
focused
put it together.
on everything else
I don't think the budget
and
should cut healthcare
survival
access
mode.
for 15 million Americans.
you
and
know,
talk
you
about
know.
costs for every other.
If you know, you know.
SNAP recipients should go without food. People should be getting paid in this country. And we
By
tried
the
to
way,
do that 13 times.
My Cash App is in
You
my
don't know 13 times.
My
Democrats
bio.
are united in the fact
if you like to say
that
hi
Trump
to
and the
me.
administration can
Just
do
write your
not
name
this
in there.
weekend, tomorrow, today, right away.
The shutdown first forced the closure of some federal facilities, and all government workers stopped getting paychecks. Then, a month later, the USDA said funding for SNAP benefits had run out. 42 million Americans, roughly 1 in 8, rely on the critical federal food assistance program. The Trump administration is pledging to partially pay SNAP benefits for November to comply with a quota. But it's a waiting game with no certainty of when that money will be dispersed.
The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money.
In this now record-breaking shutdown, many families are struggling to put food on the table.
The majority of people on SNAP are white Americans. We do know that a lot of red states have a lot of high food insecurity. For example, Florida has one of the largest people on SNAP, followed by Texas. So if you look at it as a whole, regardless of whether it's blue or whether it's red, you have people who are struggling. Unfortunately, majority of people on SNAP are working. It's just that our country doesn't pay them enough.
No end in sight and still forced to show up to the airport as an essential worker.
What is the, what? This how easy you can peel these apart? I'm gonna throw
We're
this out.
going on the second pay period where we haven't received the pay.
Sabatino feels the government has left her behind. She now keeps this letter explaining she's working without pay on the dashboard of her car.
My inspection stickers are expired. They expired in October. I've already been stopped once by PTA, Philadelphia Parking Authority, letting me know that the next time they see my car, that they're gonna have to ticket me and I can take my letter to court with me. Yeah. So that's another thing on top of that.
Added to the worries, she can no longer pay for health insurance. And her son takes medication to treat his health.
This guy got 14 pills left. When his medication runs out, I'm not even sure how much it costs without a prescription plan. Good morning, Houston. Our apple butter toast is on the table.
Melissa Myers knows that anxiety firsthand too. A single mother to 5-year-old Casey.
It's 7:06. Kingston's finishing his apple butter toast. We've got his water ready for school. Hair is done, and it's orange and black. You can read days and all.
And a full-time student without a job. She's on SNAP, but there's no money left.
It's Saturday, November.
Why isn't my robot over here yet?
From EBT Food Stamps at permission. So I'm poised with the dilemma.
Ready to be done.
Do I spend the cash I have on hand for groceries right now? Or do I wait and see what happens with the government releasing SNAP benefits?
Dinner time now means hard choices with fewer options.
So there's no point in spending $120 at the grocery store. It's we'll go in and get absolute necessary items because that's like depleted the cash fund that I have. I bought a family pack of hamburger, but we divided that out so that we can use it for 4 meals instead of, using it for 2. And just being really aware and conscientious of what's being used.
She's now turning to charities.
So I'm in line at the Salvation Army. The line is in the road. People are concerned. It doesn't even open for another 20 minutes, and there's a good 20 cars and see them. So this is the line all the way out into the road. I'm just really grateful for what the Salvation Army was able to provide.
Since the start of this shutdown, more and more Americans are surging to food banks, even those tasked with protecting our country.
There's just a lot of stress and anxiety on the family.
And the concern caused by this shutdown,
You can see service members in their uniforms.
is what we saw on countless faces in this line of soldiers, dressed in their fatigues, waiting for the chance to get just a few pounds of free food. This food bank at the Armed Services YMCA in Killeen, Texas, near Fort Hood, has seen a 60% spike in first-time visitors since the government shutdown began. People like Maggie Izataki and her 3-year-old son, Melosi, now wake up before dawn to stock up. Melosi still in his pajamas.
How have the last few weeks been for you with the shutdown?
Very stressful. Our anxiety, wondering, when our next paycheck's gonna be, or if we're gonna get the next one.
Maggie's husband is in the Army. The Pentagon moved money around in its budget to cover his paychecks, along with roughly $2 million others who
TV right here.
But officials warn there are no
We're gonna put a
additional
TV
funds
somewhere.
left for the next round
It's
of
so
soldiers'
lonely
pay
right
later
here.
this month.
Crackers? Yeah. Okay.
We caught up with Izataki this week at her home on base in Fort Hood. Her husband's last paycheck was on Halloween, and she worries it could be the last for a while.
All of the cereal there is what we want from food pantries.
She recognizes, she says, how lucky her family is to stock up for a worst-case scenario. Izataki and other military families are also coming together to help one another.
Whatever people have left over, they offer it to the Facebook chat, and our community, everyone's grabbing what they want and what they need.
And Izataki says she's doing what she can to create a sense of normalcy for her son, playing together.
Okay, that's all.
And cooking dinner. The family tree thankful for these moments to come together as the sun sets on yet another day of uncertainty. Coming up.
I'm gonna move you all.
Small boys, they're already great sponges. So it's like, you're not gonna be able to eat that or
You guys got a line. Spill out the door and wrap around the block.
Lord have mercy.
Coming in. You get holiday meals.
We were anticipating as many as 15,000 households. Then we saw
Ooh, Father God. Father God. Father, Mother God. Mother, Father. I'm tired. Ooh, I'm tired. I'm tired of washing this shit. I am.
Money was already tight for Simone Willis last week.
Now I have to pick up another job and get ready to boys.
Hold on, cause this shit.
and the volume of folks coming here is gonna be greater each and every day.
Robot. Oh, my bad. My bad. Robot finally in here. This thing is a lifesaver, though. While I'm washing dishes, doing what I do, eating.
With the holidays
Whatever.
around the corner and the loss of SNAP benefits,
Washing my
But for the
lawn,
city is seeing
whatever.
an increase in demand for food
This
and
thing is
supplies.
moving.
You got a line, filling out the door and wrapping
And she
around the
don't
block.
get
Really
tired.
long.
And she don't get tired.
Especially to get holiday meals.
That's right. This is November, it's our busiest month of the year when it comes to our food pantry. And originally we were anticipating maybe 15,000 households. Then we saw one thing happen, which was the layoffs, the furloughs. We're really now sort of anticipating maybe as many as 20,000 families reaching out to us at our two food pantries just for these holiday meals. And so this is a challenging month for us.
Would that be the most turkeys and holiday meals that you gave out in a year?
That's right. That would be an all-time.
George says more than 90% of the people who come here are SNAP recipients.
Now we're talking about people who were typically using our pantry just for a supplement. But now this is at least, let's say you really start to plan that this could be all the food they get, or at least that they can count on this month.
Food pantries provide about 1 meal for every 9 provided by SNAP, according to Feeding America, a nationwide network of food banks. Across the country, food pantries are trying their best to meet demand. Keep on. Like this one in Washington State.
Stop right there.
For one?
Yes.
Food banks simply can't fill the gap with what SNAP provided, so the folks who work at Bread for the City in Washington, D.C. try to make it as welcoming as possible.
It's good to see you. I was as we going through, even though they come in a little bit now, we're going through it with them. But when they walk in, we got this on the dignity like as we do. And I see the sad, the crying, I see all that. And you get crying and show the love and support like you do here at the city. That's what we do.
I can tell you take pride in it.
Yeah, I love my job.
Got on my leg. Oh, I hate that.
All over the country, food pantry workers are stepping up as the government shutdown impacts those in need. ABC's Victor Oquendo is in Broward County, Florida, at the Life Net for Families Pantry.
So we need to start another beef box? No, I think we need another beef box, because those are full. Okay, where's the baby box go? Oh, they took it?
Walk you back, Bill. Denise, walk me through what we're doing right now.
So basically, when we get a delivery in, what we do is separate all the basic food categories, beef, pork, chicken, seafood, and we separate them out, and the chef puts them in our freezer.
Shout out to my one life.
Meal plan for the
Appreciate
upcoming
you.
week.
You guys do this every single day.
We do. It's a part of our day, every day. We feed more than 400 people every morning, and it requires this every day to be able to do that.
But it does seem like this delivery wasn't that big. You guys were able to break this all down in a matter of minutes here.
That's part of the problem that we face as well. The numbers keep increasing, the amount of food we're able to get keeps decreasing. And at some point, I'm not sure what we'll do because we won't be able to keep up with the numbers that we're currently serving.
How do you keep up?
We make all kinds of meals that stretch everything that we have. But as I said, at a certain point, you can't stretch it anymore. So we're going to have to find a way to be able to gain access to more food.
Where are these meals headed?
So these meals are headed to recipients of SNAP benefits which have been suspended and they don't have the foods that they need. So this will go to them.
How many of these bags do you guys give away?
Every month we give away 3,000 plus bags. There was no produce? Really? No produce?
We weren't thinking that last year today.
I know, no veggies? We need vegetables.
Yeah, we didn't have any.
No vegetables?
No vegetable. You guys didn't receive vegetables today?
None.
How often does something like that happen?
It's not common. Usually we have some vegetables. Often, it's not as much as we would like, but there's usually at least some vegetables that are included. There's no vegetables that's included in this order.
Do you think that that's a mistake, or could it be a supply issue?
I think it's a supply issue because it's not a mistake. They give us what they have, so we have no vegetables in this delivery.
What can you do? That's a key part of the diet.
That is exactly right. So again, I'm gonna have to get on the phone.
Now it's time.
I'm gonna have to start.
Now you gotta go back
and figure out
because
where
you're
to get some vegetables because obviously it's an incomplete meal without vegetables.
has to be frustrating for you.
It is very frustrating because I spend so much time trying to figure out how to make these meals work when I'd like to be spending that time doing other things, raising funds for the organization, making sure that we can expand rather than trying to figure out how to do more with less.
When did you start to notice that the deliveries were getting smaller and smaller?
It started when the cut for the USDA, and ever since then, there have been changes in our deliveries, changes in the levels of food that we receive, and we continue to decrease in what we see coming in every week.
Back in April, the USDA cut $500 million in funding from its Emergency Food Assistance Program. The federal government uses the program to buy food from U.S. farmers, then passes the food to food banks and other local agencies in all 50 states. Rose Josephs is a pantry worker who is also on SNAP benefits.
The government shuts down everything right now, so, everybody's in crisis, and the food banks are all lines now, and everything is going on, but thank God for this place.
Without those types of resources, without food banks, food pantries, what position would you be in?
Scrambling what to do, how to get food. I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately, that's what's going on right now in this world. It's a scary time.
It's a man-made problem.
If you can't explain the strain that food banks are feeling right now across the country.
The strain is tremendous for people who work in the food banks, who lead the food banks, because when you have to look at people every day, you come face to face with them, and their need is so great, and your desire is to meet that need, but you're unable to at the level
All right.
that you'd like to.
That's it for me tonight. I think I did a lot.
Every single day.
Oh boy.
It hears at your heart, if you're not able to sleep at night.
Are you hearing from some of your clients that they're having to choose between food on the table or rent?
Absolutely. We know that they're going to choose the life essentials and not the rent, and they will be on the verge or pushed into homelessness.
This is really going to hurt a lot of and mental health is already on a crisis. This is just putting more people in this health crisis. That's not right.
Thank you, BPMIO, for this. Make my life easy.